Today, what's the longer lasting damage here for investors, if any?
It'll be interesting to see what Southwest does in terms of restoring their, network or making changes to the network to make sure that, in the future, in irregular operations, they'll be able to recover better than they have here today. To be fair, this was a really tough storm for everybody when it kind of rolls through, many of your geographies. That's a tough kind of setup. And then, clearly they'll need to address their crew handling system, which seems to be the system that really took the brunt and caused some of the chaos that we're seeing today.
That may be fair, but, some would suggest that the writing was on the wall here for a while, that their systems needed to be upgraded for some time, and the airline knew that. It's just that they diverted their funds elsewhere. And when you look at a story like this, you can say, okay, well, passengers and those flying and the feds, they're all angry and for good and obvious reason. But at some point, if management, mismanagement turns out to be a greater part of this story, would the impact to the stock over the longer period be bigger? At the end of the day, people fly for price and convenience, and that's not going to change regardless of what happens in this situation.
In terms of the technology, yes, Southwest is kind of widely known in the industry that they're behind, but it's not because they haven't been making investments. I mean, they've been investing kind of $500 million to kind of $1 billion a year in kind of this non-aircraft type of investments that they've been making. They've just had a lot of wood to chop, and they have to kind of pick the battles on which fronts that they move forward. And with airline systems, it's really tough. It's legacy systems, and if you make a change in one place, you could break something in the other place. So you do move a little bit slower than you might in other industries, or for airlines that are kind of newly started up and have a kind of a fresh tech stack to work with. So I'm not sure that there will be clearly a review of what happened here and where are the failures and maybe who might be to blame. But I'm not really sure that there's kind of a smoking gun here in terms of somebody who really dropped the ball. It's a matter of kind of doing more of what they're doing and maybe kind of refocusing where the investments are going.
Yeah, I mean, to your point, Bob Jordan, the CEO, has been pretty vocal about the fact that they need to continue making more tech investments and that they've essentially expanded faster than their technology has in recent months. You have a buy rating on the stock. Do you stick with that here? And just as importantly, do you expect that there's going to be an impact to earnings in the next quarterly report?
Yes, there'll clearly be a big earnings hit in the fourth quarter here, and we've kind of quantified that. I think they'll still kind of eke out a small profit here. And in 1Q, unlike for the other airlines that, this event probably is more of a fourth quarter event, Southwest will probably see some book away as a result of this incident. We suspect as you head into the second quarter, some of that kind of wears down. You might see Southwest doing some fare sales to kind of to bring some goodwill back. So we do think that the implications of this event do last at least into kind of the first quarter. So there is some earnings risk there. Right now, our kind of analysis is there's no kind of structural issue with Southwest that needs drastic rethinking, and therefore we're kind of sticking to our strong buy rating. But we are monitoring this very closely to see, what they come out with as to kind of the reasons for this event.